we'll get started. Welcome everybody to the, what is the date today? It's March 6th. Whoops, we got echo. We're good to go? Oh, okay. Welcome to the March 6th, 2024 meeting of the Historic Preservation Commission for the City of Manitou Springs. Just wanted to remind everybody, the purpose of the commission is to protect and enhance districts of historic significance and instill and foster civic pride in the legacy and achievements of the past. It's also to improve the economic vitality of the historic areas of the community through encouraging compatible rehabilitation of historic structures. We will get the meeting started this evening. If I could ask each commissioner to introduce themselves as a form of taking roll.
Ann Nichols.
Douglas Edmondson.
Joy Porter.
Laura Kinseth, Vice Chair.
And Chair Susan Presti. Thank you all. So first order of business is approval of the January 3rd minutes. Does anybody have any corrections or changes to the minutes? Nope, everybody. I had one question. Laura, do you remember, was it you or was it Tamala that was talking about the Stanley Hotel?
It was Tamala.
It was, okay.
Yes.
Then she got that right. I couldn't remember from the video. Okay, so I would accept a motion to approve the minutes.
I move to approve the minutes from February 6th.
I second the
Seven.
motion.
So I have Laura has moved to approve and Doug seconded. Any other comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, minutes are passed. Thank you. Let's see. I think our next, we get right into, oops, where's my, I misplaced the agenda. That's what I need. There we go. I see no notice of council action. I don't see anything. Okay. And no unfinished business that I can see on the agenda. All right, we're right into new business. We have item, let's see, 5, item 2, MCAC 2403 for 902 Manitou Avenue, Shoshone Springs exterior and interior improvements. We need to ask the members of the commission, does anybody have ex parte communications or conflict of interest they need to share?
Conflict of interest.
You
We're
co-
on the Mineral Springs Foundation.
Okay,
And so we've been intimately involved with this, Doug and I.
Yes, I'm president of the Mineral Springs Foundation and have this was per our request. So we will be rescinding this hearing.
So staff is requesting a continuance on this item because we only noticed Shoshone. We didn't, in original communications, we didn't understand that there was a request for Shoshone Springs and Cheyenne Springs to have these changes. So we're requesting a continuance of this item so that both of those springs can be discussed and talked about at one meeting. So it will be postponed until, we're requesting a continuance until April 3rd.
okay. That sounds good. We'll consider that. Would somebody move to continue? Do we need to move then to continue this item? Somebody make a motion?
I would move the 403 at MAC to April 3rd. April 3rd.
Okay, do I have a second?
Laura,
Second.
Okay, Joy has made a motion to continue this until the April meeting and Laura seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right, thank you. That item will be continued. Thank you. And under Agenda item 6, item 3, other business, the Carnegie Library. We have an update from staff on the construction.
Yeah, so we have a couple of things we'd like to update HPC on, as well as an item for some discussion on. I do have in the audience tonight Katie, who is our project manager for the Carnegie Library. So she's here as well to answer any questions. In the past few weeks or so, we've been talking about how best to keep HPC involved in this process, as well as address things that we all know come up during the construction process and need to be addressed in a timely manner. And so I've written this statement that I'm going to read aloud here. The Carnegie Library project is underway. In order to keep the project moving forward on time, on budget, and on schedule, staff is requesting HPC's approval for Chair Susan Presti and Vice Chair Laura Keinseth to review documents from the design architect as needed to assist staff in confirming whether or not an MCAC is needed. Staff will also be noticing the Carnegie Library project monthly for the duration of the project, continuing the library item as needed if there are no items needing review by the commission at that time.
Okay, thank you. I will tell you, the commission, I did not share this with Laura, but I have been in discussions, and this was kind of my proposal of how to help staff continue to approve slight changes in the construction without having to delay everything for a month to come back to us, and without us having to have weekly commission meetings. It's not specifically in code, but it does not, the way I read code does not prohibit us from basically assigning, as a commission, assigning our executive committee to make these sort of decisions and work with staff. So in the interest of expediency, moving that project along and keeping us on time and on budget, this was my proposal. So I'm open to other comments from the commission and see what you all think about this.
So I guess my question would be, what kind of changes would you think would trigger the need for a new MCAC? Is that what you're saying?
So for example, there was a 1/2-inch change to the stair tread, which involved a change in the documents because the architect is updating these things kind of along the way, which is not something that changes the design intent. And so that's one staff would not want to make those sorts of decisions without having the advice of Susan and Laura to confirm that that's not something that needs to be brought back to HPC for a 1/2-inch change to the clearance above a stairwell. There is an item that we know is going to have a change to the documents where some grading was, as we got out into the field, there's some grading that needs to change, which is going to update some of the walls in a little bit different way in terms of retaining walls. And that one we do anticipate bringing back to HPC to say, hey, this is how it's changing. We want to let you know. We don't believe it will change the design intent in a huge way, but it's still something that would, we anticipate bringing, back to HPC.
To the whole
Yes.
HPC? Okay.
Unless, once we get down to actually reviewing documents like that, Susan and Laura say, no, this is still in line with what was originally approved and it doesn't need to be re-reviewed.
Right.
So that's where we're looking for Susan and Laura's guidance to make sure that we're not taking liberties with those sorts of reviews on such a big project for the city.
So they're kind of just helping with what would be administrative decisions. Because
Correct.
I wouldn't think the code allows just two people from the HPC to make substantive decisions on an MCAC.
Yeah, that's correct. So just to be very clear, there's no authority for any board or commission to delegate authority to a smaller, body of that larger body to make a substantive decision that would have to come back to the commission for approval. So you know, my understanding is that when the design is approved, there's design approval. It's not as-built approval, right? You're not looking at the as-built plans. If there's a real minor change, that's not something that needs to come back to HPC for an MCAC approval. And of course, you know, correct me if I'm wrong or correct staff if they're wrong, but it seems like real minute changes like that are not changes that have ever come back to HPC.
This is mostly triggered by the fact that we removed staff's ability to make changes once we've approved a design. And you all will remember why we did that. So this is kind of trying to bridge that so that, yes, that we would not be making major decisions. It'd be more, yes, this is inconsequential, small things that we feel you don't need to bring back to the entire HPC. But if something is a little more substantive, then yes, we would schedule it to come back.
My position on it is that I feel that the Historic Preservation Commission's involvement with the decision-making of changes to the plans would be more along the aesthetics, windows, anything that may deal with the brick, veneers, things that means, I mean, as a contractor, anything that I've had to do that's involved drawings or any sort of engineering, I've never once done one project where I haven't had a splice. And, you know, that's just common practice. I mean, if they come to us and they have to change a tread because of clearance, so there's difference in gradings. I mean, honestly, the thing that I've seen is the sterility of CAD and other electronic applications they use this day and age to generate drawings, usually have a tendency to miss a lot of the organic findings that are applicable in the field. So I don't have a problem with staff making administrative decisions that come down to things like, you know, anchor counts or the thickness or the gradient of a wall, as long as it doesn't involve, you know, the change particularly to the original structure.
And I would really like, if you are willing to do, you know, to work with staff on those minor changes. It's just a notification. You know, I think something like tread, I wouldn't know much about tread, sorry. But I think when I look at a grading permit, usually that has to, if that's going to really change things, then the judgment would need to be made. But I'm all right with it. I think having them both be involved. If you make it stucco and put in square windows, I may take issue, but don't go crazy, okay?
Laura, are you comfortable with?
I
communication?
agree. I agree
Okay,
that it's not necessary for us to review as long as it doesn't impact the historic nature of the project.
okay.
Yep.
We're just trying to find a way to balance what the direction of the commission has been to staff and their limitations on making adjustments once we've approved a design and the things that the council needs or commission needs to talk or discuss, and keeping everything so we don't have to meet every week. I know that's not really feasible for us. Okay, it sounds like I'm getting a general consensus that this would be fine, and we'll work with this model. And do we need to make a formal motion or direction on this, Katie? Okay. All right, great. And that's the way we'll move. Anything else, Erin? Do you need anything else from us?
No, that's great. Thank you on that. And then we also had an update on in the drawings for the murals. The statement was made that there would be an attempt to save all of the murals, but if it was not deemed necessary or deemed possible, there was that understanding and that they'd be documented. So we are coming back to let you know that the giraffe mural has been removed from the wall and is in one piece. We have not moved it out of the library yet to its storage location. So we're working through how best to do that to keep it in one piece in the move. But the other three, due to the fragile nature and cracks in the existing substrate, it's not possible to salvage the other three murals. The giraffe is the only one that's able to be saved. We have documented the other three murals.
Okay, thank you for the update. Any questions from commission?
I only have one question for General Manager Katie. Before you guys started real work, did you get a chance to remove the old storm windows that were back behind the furnace that we found and store them? They were the old, just to enlighten HPC, we went through the building and there were the original storm windows for the old double hung windows, blown glass, just stacked up behind the furnace.
Yes, we did remove all of the storm windows and have them safely stored. So that's all
Fantastic.
covered. Yep,
Great, thank you very much.
you're welcome.
Okay, thank you. Anything else on the library or other business?
No, we're moving along on the library. We're processing RFIs and submittals and we're moving dirt out there. So we have our archaeologist on site looking at everything as the dirt's being moved. So we're humming along. Thank you.
So I have just a couple of things under other business before we go into executive session. Just wanted to let you all know that the commission know that I did attend, and I'm going to try and continue to do it, the City of Colorado Springs Historic Preservation Board meeting last week. And just to let you know that apparently the Historic Preservation Alliance is going to have a Pikes Peak Preservation Forum in May 10th. I can't find anything on their website about it. It's a half day at Grace and Stevens Church. I will try and contact them about how to register for that, but just to let you know that that's coming up. And the City of Colorado Springs Planning Department is going to plan in June to have the Colorado Historic Preservation send some representatives down to do a historic tax credit presentation to the community to try and educate folks on how that works and encourage the use of that. It'll be a public meeting, but I thought that would be a great opportunity for us to communicate to our community and get folks to go that are interested to learn about that. So the date has not been set for that, but Bill Gray is going to talk to me about that and keep us posted as soon as he sets a date. But just to know, I think we'll take advantage of that and communicate it, publicize it to our community. And I've got some ideas. I'll talk to Aaron about how we do that. But just to let you know, that's coming up.
I just wanted to check and make sure you have Bill Gray's contact information.
I don't know if I do.
I'll send it to you. I used to
Okay.
work with him. Yeah.
Oh, great, Ethan. Thank you. I figured I could probably find it on the city's website, but I hadn't looked it up yet. Okay. Thank you. I just wanted to let you all know about that, those upcoming things. I don't think we have anything else till we move to executive session.
Okay. I'm going to go stop the recording and get things set up for our executive session.
So we'll take a brief break while that's happening.
We should just move into executive session while the recording is still on, though.
I believe you have to read the statement while the recording's still on before we actually, yes, change. Who's got the statement?
Yeah, I have it pulled up. So if you look on the agenda, I'll have a commission member make a motion to enter into executive session and just read out the exact language that's under item 4 here, or item 7.4.
So I'll move that a conference with the city attorney, that we go into executive session for a conference with the city attorney for the purpose of receiving legal advice on specific legal questions under CRS section 24-6-402 or B to discuss interpretations of chapter 17 of the municipal code.
I have a motion from Ann. Do I have a second?
I would second it.
Joy seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Hi.
All opposed? The ayes have it. We will move to executive session.